All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where it is in the world that you happen to be joining us from.
Guten Tag and Buona Cena. And I was trying to learn hello or good evening in Italian, but I think Buona Sera, I think is right.
And Susan is speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
It's a great way to start. In any event, thank you for joining our little jumpstart here. This is an introduction to creating websites using Python and Flask. This is a Web Wednesday, which, by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't go ahead and plug the next handful of Web Wednesdays that are coming up. You'll notice them on the brick slide. We've got a lot of cool stuff, Azure websites. I'm going to be in here doing Angular and MVC with Entity Framework. So a lot of really cool stuff. You'll see all that on the break slides. But what do you say we introduce ourselves and introduce the course and get rolling? Because we got a little bit to talk about today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Getting everyone rolling.
Yeah, why don't you talk about yourself?
So my name is Susan Ibach. My Twitter handle is Hockey Geek Girl. And my job is I'm a technical evangelist at Microsoft. And what that means is I help developers understand how to get started with our different tools and technologies. A lot of stuff with Visual Studio these days. Mm-hmm. I am also a Microsoft certified trainer. And the first program I ever wrote was on a computer with 64K of memory. So I'm not going to admit to how long I've been coding, but that might give you a hint.
Yes, that's a little bit of a giveaway.
Absolutely. I've worked with a lot of different programming languages, and I think one of the most important things to realize is, as you play with all these different programming languages, is that, you learn one language as a starting point, and that can take you so many different places.
Yeah.
The principles we're going to see today in Python, someday you're going to explore another programming language for web, and you're going to see similarities to what we see here today.
Yeah, absolutely. In any event, I guess I should introduce myself.
I think so.
I am Christopher Harrison. I'm a content developer here at Microsoft, focused mostly on ASP.NET, although that's now expanding into an ever-broadening range of web technologies and Office 365. I was an MCT for 15 years. I guess I still am, but not a full-time MCT like I was. And I got started with a Commodore 64. And I actually wrote a blog post on this in a couple of weeks ago, where I talked about the fact that the first main program that I punched in, it was from a copy of an old magazine called Byte, and it was a clone of a popular game, and instead of being able to just type out print, you had to put in the question mark, because otherwise you would run out of memory.
Yes.
So quite a little while. And beyond that, you can find me out spending time with my wonderful wife, four-legged child, and running more miles than most people would consider normal, I think.
Yeah. Good on you.
So you do the same, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and hit our agenda for the day. So what we're going to start with is actually an introduction to both Flask as well as HTML. So if you haven't played around with Flask, not exactly sure why we chose Flask, what this is all about, we're going to get into that in Module 1. And then we'll also discuss a little bit of HTML.